Welcome back to another video with Playing Warzone with Tamfoli. The vehicle we'll be looking at today is the T-80u, a Soviet top-tier 10.0 vehicle, MBT. First thing we need to go through is the modifications. So as you can see with the modifications, which I do not have fully spaded yet or unlocked, let's go through the ammunition first. Now, the T-80u has a 125mm gun, the 2A46M-1. First round you get when you unlock the vehicle is the 3BM22. At 0 degrees, 10 meters, it penetrates up to 425mm of penetration. Now, if you go down to 2,000 meters, at 0 degrees, it penetrates up to 380mm of penetration. Now, let's go over to 30. At 30 degrees, 10 meters, it penetrates up to 348mm of armor. Now, go down to 2,000 meters, 311mm of penetration power. Now, this round is not really good at penetrating MBTs from a slope position at 30 degrees and stuff. But it is very good for its capabilities, such as hitting the gun barrel, taking out the cannon breech and stuff. It's a good round to start out with, but the penetration is not good at angles and stuff. So let's move on to the next round. The upgraded round you get is the 3BM42 Mango. At 0 degrees, 10 meters, it penetrates up to 479mm of penetration. Then at 2,000 meters, 0 degrees, it penetrates up to 445mm of armor. Then at 30 degrees, 10 meters, it penetrates up to 415mm of armor. Then at 2,000 meters, 30 degrees, it penetrates up to 385mm of armor. Now, this round is better than this round, from frontal penetration and angle penetration wise. So you should mainly stick to this round, the 3BM42. Now, I do not have the heat shell, but we'll still go over it. Now, this is a heat fin stabilized shell, the 3BK18M. Now, at 0 degrees, all the way down to 2,000 meters, it penetrates up to 550mm of armor. Then, at 30 degrees, all the way down to 2,000 meters, it penetrates up to 476mm of armor. Now, this round is not good for top tier, because a lot of vehicles have protection against heat fin stabilized shells with the new the composite armor and stuff in ERA, such as the Soviet T-80B. T-80u with the contact 5, and T-80B with the T-80B, and the T-64 BV with the contact 1 ERA. So don't go with this round. Don't even unlock it. Just go for their APFSDS and go for their missile. Now, next round. This is the high explosive fragmentation shell, or high explosive. This is the 30F26. At 0 degrees, all the way down to 2,000 meters, it penetrates up to 42mm of armor. Now, at 30 degrees, all the way down to 2,000 meters, it penetrates the same amount of armor, 42mm of armor. Now, this round, a long time ago, it was the best round that you can ever use with the T-80 when you were grinding out the modifications and the different things to upgrade your vehicle. But since then they passed that, and it's now 42. Originally it was 47mm of penetration, but now it's 42. I mean, it's still good. It's still good at what it does, but it's not as good as it was a long time ago in the old patch, or in the old game before this was patched. Next round, which is the missile, anti-tank missile. This is the 9M119 ATGM, or anti-tank missile. At 0 degrees, 10 meters, all the way down to 2,000 meters, it penetrates up to 700 millimeters of armor. Then at 30 degrees, all the way down to 2,000 meters, it penetrates up to 606 millimeters of armor. This is a very good ATGM to use on a multitude of different vehicles, such as lightly armored vehicles, APCs, MBTs, and stuff. But usually you want to stick with the 3BM42 and the 30F26. But also carry some of these around so you can attack helicopters and stuff and destroy vehicles from long ranges. But you can also do that with this round. This round is your first go-to round you need to use in every battle. Alright, so we are all done with that. You see your modifications and stuff. You have 8 smoke launchers on the side, 8 smoke launchers, which you can see right here. So let's move on to the side panel. So as you already know, we have the T-80u has the 125mm 2A46M-1 cannon. You can carry 45 rounds in this vehicle, 45 shells. Then on top of that, you have a 12.7mm NSVT machine gun, which is at the top, which is right here, this beautiful gun. Very good looking gun, I might add. Then all the way down, we have another machine gun, which is right here in the machine gun port on the turret next to the gun. It is a 7.62mm PKT machine gun, which is inside the turret. Then we have those smoke launchers or smoke grenade launchers on the side. They are 81mm smoke grenade launchers on the side. And you have 8 on the right side and left side of the turret. Now let's move on to turret rotation speed. It is 27.7 degrees per second. Not very good for reacting to different targets that might come up towards you or be around you and stuff. But it's not really good. You might want to, when you are doing your modifications, it's best to go for the horizontal drive to help you with acquiring targets on the move and stuff. Now we go on to the reloading rate, 6.5 seconds. That is pretty good, and this is a autoloader inside the tank. So pretty much the autoloader is sitting right here. It's the little carousel of ammunition and stuff. So let's move on. So for crew, we have 3 crew members. You have the commander, gunner, and driver. And this is the same with all the top tier MBTs for the Soviet lineup. So we move on down to mass at 46.0 tons. Engine power, 2,385 horsepower at 3,154 RPM. Now, I play arcade, so it'll be different for realistic players. This is the engine. This is a gas turbine engine. This is the Klimov GTD-1250 gas turbine engine. Very good for moving this vehicle to different positions on the map of different games you play in. Max speed is 48 miles per hour. Visibility is 78%. So let us move on to the internal of the vehicle. So as you can see, we have our cannon breech, which is the 125mm gun. There's the cannon. You can see we have composite armor. We have high hardness rolled armor, which is 50mm. Then we have textilite 30mm. Then high hardness rolled armor 50mm. Then another textilite 30mm. Then we have the last piece, high hardness rolled armor 50mm. Now, as you can see, there is a gap sitting right there where the driver is sitting at. So when you are looking at this vehicle, you can actually penetrate him right here. This is where most people will kill you at. Will kill you from. As you can see, we have our contact 5, which is on the front of the tank. As you can see right here, these are your contact 5 ERA blocks, which are sitting right here. So let's go back to X-ray. Let's check the contact 5 out. So you have kinetic energy munition protection of 120 millimeters of protection on top of this, on top of your composite armor. Then we have, for chemical energy munitions, we have 400 millimeters of protection against heat-fin stabilized shells. Then we move on to the T-80u's turret. So we have a composition of cast homogeneous armor, which is 60 to 110 millimeters of armor. Then we have cellular armor, which is 100 millimeters. Then we have high hardness rolled armor, 20 millimeters. Then we have another cellular armor, 60 millimeters. Then we have another high hardness rolled armor, 80 millimeters. Then we have cast homogeneous armor, which is from 130 millimeters to 220 millimeters, and this is on both sides of the turret. Then, as you can see right here, we have a cast homogeneous block, or a block of armor right here, which is pretty much between the cannon breech and the barrel of the gun, which we check it out. We have 250 millimeters of armor to 525 millimeters of armor, and that's sitting right here between the gun. Now there is a little bit of a gap right here between the barrel of the gun and the armor. So as we move on, it's the same contact 5 as we talked about on the frontal hull of the T-80u, but it's on the turret. Now the spots is this spot right here where the the commander is sitting at is not covered by ERA, because it is blocked out from the RI light, which is used for pretty much night engagements and driving the vehicle at night and stuff. So let's move on to our protection analysis. So we would take a look at the protection analysis from a T-80u perspective. So as you can see, we cannot penetrate the hull of the vehicle, but we can penetrate the lower hull of the vehicle. Let's actually move up to 1,000 meters. There we go. So we can actually penetrate the lower hull of the T-80u, as you can see from them shots. But we cannot penetrate the upper hull of the T-80u from this area. Now, right here, as I said before, there is a gap right here, which is where the driver is sitting at. Usually, everybody shoots this spot all the time. Everybody. They shoot this spot right here. And this is how you can get a killing blow on the T-80u. Now, usually it takes out the driver and the cannon breech and the the turret ring, which is right here. But they cannot penetrate, or the T-80u cannot penetrate itself from the turret or from the side turret. Also forgot, there is ERA blocks right here, or contact 5 ERA blocks sitting right here on the side of the tank, which is all the same it's the same made contact 5 ERA. There's nothing different about those. But we cannot penetrate our turret of the T-80u, but we can penetrate that small area right here, which is where those cast homogeneous blocks are. Now, as you can see, we get a penetration. We can kill the commander and damage the cannon breech, or destroy the cannon breech of the T-80u. But if we shoot under here, we can get some penetrations to kill the commander and damage the turret ring, which is sitting right here. Now we move on to the other side of the turret. As you can see, it's the same thing. We cannot penetrate. Very strong on the turret. Now we can penetrate between those the cannon breech and the those cast homogeneous armor blocks right here, which we can penetrate. We can destroy the cannon breach, and we can kill the gunner of the vehicle. Or you could just shoot down the gun barrel and destroy the cannon breach and the gun barrel, and possibly get a shot on the on the crew members in the turret, such as the commander and the gunner. So let's move on to another vehicle. Actually, let's check out the 9M119. So as you can see, we can penetrate it where the ERA blocks are not. There we go. As you can see right there, we killed the driver, and we can hit the commander and cannon breach. Same thing over here. If we go between the blocks, as you can see, we can penetrate right here between the ERA blocks. As you can see. Same thing with the turret. You can still penetrate where the ERA blocks are not. But when you shoot where the ERA blocks are, you cannot penetrate it. It's over 878 millimeters of armor. Same thing with the other side. Where the ERA blocks are at, you cannot penetrate them. You cannot penetrate the tank. But we can penetrate the tank's armor where there are no ERA blocks, as you can see. Not from there, but from here. So, actually, no, let's go back. Let's check out the other vehicles. Let's use the DM33. Now, as you can see, we can't penetrate the upper hull. As you can see, it's a hit or miss shot. Now, you can penetrate the lower hull of the tank with any APFSDS shell from top tier and low tier. You can penetrate that little small area right there where the gap is, which that's where the turret ring is at. You can penetrate the cannon breach. And that's it. Let's move on to the US. Let's take out the M1A1 Abrams. Let's take out the M829. As you can see, same thing. It cannot penetrate the upper hull where the ERA is at. It can also not penetrate the upper hull, but it can penetrate where the driver is at, because of that gap right there. You can penetrate the lower hull, penetrate the cannon breach, penetrate under the turret where the turret ring is at. So pretty much same thing with every vehicle. You can penetrate the driver's hatch, you can penetrate the cannon breach, and that's it. But the T-80, the Soviets come with a high explosive shell. Let me show you that. Now, you can kill this thing with its own high explosive shell, and the T-80u, T-80b, T-64BV, T-72, T-64A. You can use the same round and kill the vehicle with high explosive fragmentation. Okay, so let's actually move on to testing. So we're going to go to our user mission. I'm playing in arcade battles. It'll be different for realistic battles players. We are now back in the test mission. Okay, we are back. So first first vehicle we'll be taking a shot at is the M1A1 Abrams. So let's use our 3BM42 Mango. My bad. So let's take a shot. Let's clear that out, and let's use our 3BM42. As you can see, the reload is 6.5 seconds. So with the 3BM42 Mango shot, we can penetrate anywhere on the M1 Abrams. Anywhere on the vehicle. Lower hull. Anywhere. So pretty much you're good with killing M1A1 Abrams and the other Abrams that you might face at top tier, or that you will face at top tier. So as you can see, penetration. Let's move on to the Type 90. We can penetrate anywhere of the Type 90. We can penetrate the turret on both sides. Lower hull, penetrate it. Pretty much, you're pretty good at killing the Type 90. So let's move on to the Leopard 285. You can penetrate anywhere on the upper hull of the Leopard 285. The turret, you cannot penetrate it, but you can penetrate the cannon breech of the Leopard 285. Also, you can penetrate the lower part of the cannon breech, or where the turret ring is at. So let's get back out. Leopard 284, same thing. You can penetrate the upper hull. You can penetrate the left side of the turret, or the right side of the turret if you're attacking the vehicle. But you cannot penetrate that side of the turret because the ERA, or not ERA, my bad, the composite armor is sitting there. You can't penetrate the the gunner's sights, which you can kill the gunner and commander, or you can go for the cannon breech shot. So let's move on to the Challenge 2. We cannot penetrate the turret armor on both the left and right side. We can penetrate the top upper turret, which is where the gunner is sitting at. The gunner's sights is sitting at. As you can see from this shot, we can kill the gunner and commander. We cannot penetrate the right and left side of the upper hull, but we can penetrate the driver's hatch, or the driver's window, which is right here. As you can see, we can get a commander and gunner's kill. We can take out the engine. We can take out the turret ring and the engine, and put the vehicle on fire. Usually I go for a center shot, which hits the ammunition, driver, and engine. Or if you do not see the lower hull, you just go for the center of the vehicle, which is where the driver is sitting at, and you can kill the cannon breech. You can kill the people inside the crew, the commander and gunner, as you can see with this shot. Alright, let's move on. T-80u with no ERA, which you can penetrate from the upper hull with the 3BM42. You can also penetrate the turret, but at long ranges it gets difficult to penetrate the turret. You can also penetrate the cannon breech. T-64B, you can penetrate the upper hull of the T-64. You can also penetrate the cannon breech, but it is a difficult shot to penetrate the right and left side of the turret. Move on to T-80u. As you can see, we cannot penetrate the upper hull because of the armor. We also cannot penetrate the turret armor. But we can penetrate the lower hull of the T-80u. We also can penetrate the cannon breech. We can shoot down the cannon and take out the cannon and the cannon breech at the same time. We can aim for the cannon breech spot, which is the weakest spot of a MBT. We can kill the gunner and destroy the cannon breech. Usually I go for these shots where the gunner is sitting at, which you can take out the cannon breech and the gunner. Or you can go for a driver's hatch shot and kill the whole vehicle at once. So let's move on with the mobility of the T-80u. So as you can see, we're getting ready to start up. So let's go. As you can see, the T-80u is very good for starting up on a good run, on a good maneuver, or going forward. As you can see, we're already there at 38 miles an hour. Get there to almost 40. There we go. The T-80u is very agile when it needs to be, or it's agile all the time. Now let's go to a standstill and let's see the turning capability. So as you can see, it's not very well at turning around, but you can get around. 5 miles of turning speed. So let's actually check out the reverse speed of this tank. So let's go. 7 miles an hour going backward. That's not bad, and it's not good. It's pretty much right in the middle, smack dab in the middle. It can get you out of situations you need to get out of, but it's not as good as the other MBTs of top tier. So let's actually go to the training course, which is over here, and let's see how good it works out on the training course. So as you can see, we're already up there at 35 miles an hour. So let's start from over here. The T-80u also has a stabilizer, which every MBT has a stabilizer at top tier. So let's travel along the water and let's test out the mobility. So as you can see, it slows down in water, but we can still move. Top speed of going through water is 15 miles an hour. Let's go around the hill. As you can see, we're moving pretty good, around 38 miles an hour to 40 miles an hour. So let's turn around, go up here, turn this way, and let's go down. As you can see, stabilizer is very good. So it's very good for shooting on the move. So let's go over this. As you can see, it can't really turn, so you gotta use your reverse speed to help it turn to different areas you want to go. So as we are bobbing and weaving, you see how agile the vehicle is when the mobility is up. When your speed is up, my bad. So as you can see, we passed that pretty good. So let's keep going forward. Let's go over this center block. Ooh, come on, T-80. And looks like I can't go over it. I think we have to have enough speed to travel over the center block with the concrete slab that's in the ground. Come on. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So let's go around this corner. As you can see from that driving course, the T-80u is very agile and very maneuverable. So we are done with the moving of, or the showing of the penetration and the maneuverability of the vehicle. So let's go back to hangar. So as you can see, the T-80u is a very good contender for the Soviet Union. Top tier MBTs with some weak spots, but if you know how to cover those weak spots, then you can pretty much use this vehicle to its full capabilities at top tier. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later on the battlefields of War Thunder.